I'm not too worried about it. The race is about to begin, however. There we go. And we are racing here at Imola, and it's a good start from Gus van der Malen. In second place, Jason Milanov. Everyone heads into turn one. It's a clean at the front. Wiener and Crafter behind in fifth place. So far, it's a clean start, and there we see Gus van der Malen covering from Jason into Tosa. But so far, a very clean start from everybody. Beautiful to see everybody just being this clean. We see a collision behind. We have a pileup here in Tosa, but it's Rafael Oliveira, one of the drivers involved. Thankfully, they clear themselves very quickly. So we have Van der Malen leading from Milanov. Brendan Pierce is in third place and looking to attack. Milanov covered the inside there beautifully onto Rivazza. We complete lap 1 on this race. And Jason Milanov is in second place. It's almost news given the level of domination we've seen from him so far. Alex Huron right now in sixth place as Cadillac Crafter runs wide and loses 2 spots. Cadillac down to 7th as Huron and Metz-Churat have gone through thanks to Cadillac's mistake. It's a long race, 26 laps, so you still have time to recover. Here we see the battle for 5th place. Apologies for the camera. Oh, there we see Metz-Churat going wide a little bit, but thankfully for him, he didn't lose the position to Huron. These new surnames, I'm really sorry if I'm mispronouncing them. I will do my best to learn your surnames. You're new to the community, which is lovely to see. Lap number 3, Gus van der Malen, fastest lap of the race, a 50.9. That's qualifying pace. In lap 2 of the race, that's unbelievable. And Jason Milanov seems to have made a mistake. Brendan Pierce is through. Jason Milanov has dropped down to 3rd. And Waynard's right behind. So Jason Milanov going into the grass. He's going to lose more time there. Matthews, we see him dropping. Everything happening at this moment. We're going to briefly look at Matthews. He seems to have spun, but we tune in quickly back to this battle. As Waynard had issues on the chicane over the curves. But it is Gus van der Malen ahead of Brendan Pierce. Ahead of Jason Milanov. We see Jason hugging the wall there on the main straight, trying to get as much of an advantage as possible. Here we see Cadillac Crafter up into 6th place. He's managed to go through Metz-Churat and recover 6th place, making up for the mistake he made before. Phillips makes a spin at the exit of Tamburello and drops another position in P12. Apologies for the synchronized drifting you just saw. That's down to Ping. Gus van der Malen, who has opened a big gap up the front, 3 seconds in front of Brendan Pierce. Now this is going to be an exciting battle. As we see there, Jason Milanov closing the gap on the straight with the slipstream. This will be music to Goose's ears as he sees how these two will fight and lose a little bit of time. Brendan goes defensive into Tosa. The gap is really close, however. The gap is very, very close between them. And look at how quick they go through Aqua Minerale. It's such a complicated double right-hander. And onto the chicane. On the chicane, it seems like Brendan seems to have more pace than Jason. He seems to be more confident when attacking the curbs. Jason seems to struggle more in that particular part of the track. Lap 6 of the race. And Goose opening a big gap in front ahead of Jason Milanov. If we look here in 4th place, we have Oliver Waynard in 4th place, still within visual distance, I guess. I will suppose that is an expression. I just made it up. but we'll say that. Anyway, Weiner can still see Milanov and Pierce. That's what I wanted to say. Follow Metz-Jurat in 7th place. In 8th place, we had Mad Racer. Lovely name. I just love it. I love that name. Oh, Mad Racer attacking the curves like crazy. Within the points, Mad Racer. Antonio Correira, 9th place. Then we have Thomas Kane in 10th. And outside the points, but catching Jacob Matthews. This will be the battle for the last point. And Brendan Pierce is off. Brendan Pierce is off. Ooh, and that's a very bad point to rejoin. He does it, but he's down to 7th. We missed what happened there. I apologize for that. I just caught Brendan in trouble, and he's down into 7th place. We'll have to take a look at what happened. But Jason Milanov has now gone into 2nd place. He seems to have lost time there on that entire deal, because Waynard is much closer than before. Oof, Jason really struggling here. He may have issues with tire drag, with tire degradation. But Wayner is not that far off. So this is the big story now. Brendan Pierce. Oh, and Phillips has a spin. That's the exit of that's before Aqua Minerale, sorry. But anyway, so now Waynard is on a position to get a podium on his first race on the FSGP community. That is a fantastic result if things stand as they do, but we are not even halfway through this race, so lots of things will change, that's for sure. Oliveira makes a spot on Tatrai, who has spun, and there we see Gus van der Malen approaching lapped cars. Let's see how this affects onto the race. We have seen lapped cars, how they can influence the results of the race. And Cooper Phillips, unfortunately retires from this race. A bit of a shame. Hopefully we see him in future events. Meanwhile, we look back at the battle in front. Gus van der Malen has a 7-second gap over the field. Struggling a little bit with this lapped car. Oh my god, the lapped car. Lapped car did a half spin trying to go to the inside and collected Gus van der Malen. Thankfully, it doesn't look like there's too much damage, but that's costed Gus 3 seconds from his advantage. Here is Jason now. Oh, big slide. Saves it, however. And in the battle for the final point position, Jacob Matthews takes 10th. So that will be a point for Jacob as things stand. He had a bit of a spin, a bit of issues before in this race, so he's now making his way through the field and recovering positions. Gus van der Malen still leads 6 seconds over Jason Milanov, who this weekend doesn't seem to be comfortable with the car. He doesn't seem to be comfortable on this racetrack. After 5 wins, it looks like the streak may be over here, but still P2. It's unbelievable the level of consistency and performance Jason is able to pull every single weekend. Now he will encounter this lapped car that costed Goose 3 seconds. Let's see what this lapped car does. Goose honking. Oh, this lapped car is not getting out of the way. There may be penalties coming afterwards if he doesn't respect blue flags. Now he's on the inside, Jason. He had to earn that position, has to be said. Lots of issues there to get rid of the lapped car. That is Tatrai on 13th place at the moment. But that has costed him a few tenths. Now the rest of the field has to make his way past. We see Metzturand, who is closing now the gap. Oof! Waynard gets through the lapped car, and it is within 2 seconds of Milanov. So there we see Hurren making his way past the lapped car. Lapped car not respecting blue flags, which is making a bit of a... It's making things complicated. There we see Crafter. Careful boys, careful boys. Crafter taking evasive action. Metzturand is now going on the inside on Ribazza. There's a little bit of contact. No, they keep it clean and the lapped car spins. Metzturand goes through. But Crafter has not given up yet on this battle. This is for P5 as we speak, and Brendan Pierce closing in behind. Metzturand onto Tamburello. Beautiful overtake, and there's a spin from Hurren, so this battle suddenly becomes the battle for P4. And Pierce is all over the back of Cadillac Crafter. Onto Tosa. Metzturand goes wide. Crafter and Pierce go through. Pierce has made two spots within what? Within... Wait. I may have to go real quick to check if I've moved the safety car, because I'm basically sitting on my playset, so I don't know if I'm moving my car or not. Oh no, the two safety cars are in place. Okay, we can focus back on the battle. So this is the train for P4. Beautiful battle we have going on here. Cadillac Crafter right now leads this group, followed by Brendan Pierce, who was battling for second place early in this race until he made a mistake. We'll have to see the replay of that one post-race and see what happened in that moment. But then we have Metzturand and Hurren, who are definitely... Oh, there we see Cadillac Crafter losing a lot of space. He went wide. And now Brendan Pierce is all over the back. Oh, he takes the curb. Big moment here. And he's gonna have a big shot onto the main straight. Oh, runs a little bit wide. He was definitely close. He's gonna be on the slipstream as he starts closing in. Onto Tamburello. There's lapped traffic in front. Lap traffic getting out of the way beautifully. Great job, great sportsmanship. And the lap traffic allows the four cars battling here for P4 through. And this is the gap. There's nothing between them. This time, Crafter keeps it between the white lines. And it shows. It shows the little bit of a gap he opened. And then Pierce through the two Rivazzas. He's not as close as he was on the previous lap, so that's gonna be important to keep an eye on. But not as close as in the previous lap. Apologies for the lag, we are seeing a few issues from time to time. It's we're working on improving things, but yeah, hopefully for next round the connection is a bit more stable and things run a bit more smoothly. Meanwhile, Oliveira has passed Thomas Kane. Oliveira is now catching Matthews for the final points position, so we'll keep an eye on that for the battle for P10, which is the last position that awards points. Meanwhile, this is the battle for P4. Brendan Pierce is all over the back of Crafter, who tries to weave to break the toe. Into turn 1, Tamburello. Crafter broke himself. He went a little bit too deep, and Pierce nearly collects the back of him. Good driving from both of them to avoid a collision. Pierce looking way past. He's moving left, he's moving right. Being carried by Crafter. Look at how close he is. Is he gonna dive on the chicane? He wisely lifts out of it. That would have been a very risky situation for sure. The best taking opportunity obviously comes into Tamburello. If you get a good exit out of the Rivazzas, you can get a good tow, a good slipstream, and you can pull alongside into Tamburello. But Crafter seems to be dominating in that area. We see Tatrai going into the pits to avoid uh, when being lagged. Good strategy, if you ask me. Pierce all over the back of Crafter. He seems to be looking at Tosa as an overtaking spot. So we'll keep an eye on Tosa because I think Pierce has more pace in Villeneuve and he thinks he may have a run into there. But Pierce spins! Pierce spins and drops down into 7th place again. Ah, what a shame. He forced the issue. He went over the curves and he spun wide. Ah, that's a big shame. Cadillac Crafter now has a bit of a gap over. Jason Milanov is in trouble. Jason Milanov in trouble. And that's Waynard going into 2nd place. Waynard is through into 2nd place. This is his debut race in the community in the FSGP Series. And he may get a P2, a wonderful result. But now he will have to defend from the attacks of Milanov. That's no easy task. Milanov makes a mistake at the exit of Tamburello. We'll have to see the replay of that one again. It's a bit difficult to see all of the incidents that occurred. Thomas Kane letting drivers through. That's why he was shown slowly. Thomas Kane, a regular in the community. Lovely to see him racing. Hopefully, in the next round, he's able to be closer to the points. He may have suffered damage and be a little bit off in that regard. Milanov goes wide at the exit of Tamburello. He's really struggling at that portion of the circuit. That's costing him time. And I didn't say anything about Gus because, to be honest, he's just pulling off one of those drives from the past where he just leads from lap 1, dominates, shoots off into the distance. He's 20 seconds. For a moment, I thought we saw a spin from Wayner, but no, that was just a little bit of lag, unfortunately. And now Milanov is closing on Waynard. Waynard will have to defend 6 laps to the current championship leader, to the 2022 champion of the FSGP Series. That's no easy task. This is his first race. He's leaving his mark, that's for sure. That's a name we're gonna remember. Oliver Waynard. As Milanov goes wide in Tosa. This is the rookie versus the veteran. The champion versus the newbie. And we will have 6 laps to settle it. Through Variante Alta. The try stops, may have been a spin. Again, sometimes you see the cars dart around the track, and I'm not sure if it's lag or if it is a mistake. So that's why I'm being careful when saying, oh, someone spins, someone makes some mistakes, because it may not be that. Meanwhile, the battle for P4, they are posting everyone qualifying times. Everyone is so similar in terms of pace. It's so impressive to see the level we are seeing on this race. Beautiful to see. Meanwhile, Milanov has caught up to the back of Waynard. Waynard will have to find a way to keep Milanov behind, to keep the current champion behind. As Milanov goes over the curves, that's going to cost him a few tenths. Through Variante Alta, we see Waynard weaving a little bit just to try to break the toe. This is where he needs to be careful. Crafter in trouble. Crafter in trouble. Defending from Huren, but Metz Churat has gone through. And now this is going to be almost 3 wide as Huren tries to pull alongside. He does. Into Tamburello, they're making contact. They're side by side. Into Tamburello, there's contact. Oh my goodness. Crafter spins. Huren. Brendan Pierce goes through, but Crafter has spun. I think that will get reviewed by the stewards later. Um, Out of an unfortunate incident, that's for sure. But Matt had again a wonderful performance at the moment in fourth place. We go back to the battle for P2. And Milanov right now is there. Metsurat is gonna have to go defensive here. He does. Milanov tries to pull alongside. Doya goes down the inside. Has to back out of it. But this is not over. Milanov with the switchback. Villeneuve chicane. That's an outrageous overtake. And Wainert goes wide. He tried to get him back into Tosa. What an overtake from Milanov. He did the switchback to perfection. Wainer did his best to defend, but Milanov was very intelligent. Oh, Wainer goes wide there. That's going to cost him a few tenths as well. Covers to P2. Milanov went into the grass. There's 2 laps to go, and this is not over. This battle is going to keep going. And Wainer is going to cover the inside once more. I think he will know this time. Milanov is going to try to switch back. Milanov around the outside. Wainert, beautiful defense this time, knows what was coming. Milanov and Villeneuve this time, it didn't quite work out. On to Tosa! There's a contact. There's contact. I think that will get reviewed by the stewards. Milanov goes through. That will definitely be looked at by the stewards, I think. He hit the back of Wainert. As we enter the final lap, we'll see if Milanov that lets him through or not. I think he's lifting. I think he is lifting a little bit. Final lap. Vandoornemalen leads, followed by Milanov and Wainert, pending that possible uh, steward's investigation. Wainert going wide in Tamburello. Ooh, a big mistake from Milanov. Big mistake from Milanov. Wainert, he still has a chance. He still has a chance to get him on track. We'll have to see what the stewards say about that one, but I'm sure Wainert will want to get this one on track. Gus Vandoornemalen, meanwhile, has gotten his first win of the season. Dominating fashion. It's going to be 26 seconds the gap to second place. Jason Milanov is going to come home in second place. And Oliver Wainer will come home in third. And look out, in case this isn't over, look at Milanov, let him through. That's fantastic. Oliver Wainer gets second place. Milanov, being the sportsman that he is, lets him through. Matt Sturat goes fourth. Brendan Pierce is fifth. Cadillac Crafter is sixth place. Alex Hurren, seventh place. Matt Racer in eighth. Antonio Correira, ninth place. Jacob Matthews in 10th. What a race we have seen, ladies and gentlemen. What a race we have just seen. But fantastic performance from everyone. Gus Van Doornemalen is your winner in dominating fashion, has to be said. That was one of the drives he used to do in the past. It was the kind of drive Gus did in 2021 when he went on to win that year's championship. A fantastic performance. We're gonna see if we can get any one of the. We're gonna see if we can get an interview. So we're gonna see if we can get them.